All right. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, was established to coordinate and unify the petroleum policies of member countries and ensure the stabilization of the oil markets in order to secure an efficient economic and regular supply of petroleum products to consumers. Nigeria has been a key player in OPEC. You remember the late Rilwanu Lukman was the Secretary General of OPEC between 1995 and 2000. Another Secretary General of Nigerian descent, Muhammadu Barkindo, has been praised by the NNPC for the role he played in the formation of the Declaration of Cooperation, the OC, between OPEC member countries and non-member countries alike. But Barkindo served 2 terms as Secretary General. We salute him too.
Yes, we do. And he has been a good servant of not just our country, but a good ambassador of our country as well, leading the group creditably and ensuring that the interest of the members of the oil cartel are protected. That's the most important thing, and ensure that prices are not such that will be unfavorable to members of OPEC. Somehow, OPEC has been able to do its best to keep prices at optimum level, and that's the job of Barkindo and the rest of them. So he's done well to lead such a big organization, and it's a pride of our country.
Yeah. Today, you know, the man on the street is wondering, yes, your countryman is the Secretary General of OPEC, but how has it rubbed off on the man on the street?
Well, if there's anything that you can give to Nigerians when they serve on international board, that is Nigeria, we have gifted technocrats all over the place. Anywhere they go all over the world, they excel themselves. And to the ordinary man of the street, yes, they may say that the price of oil or the price of petroleum, PMS, that is central to their living, keep on going on. But you have to know that at some time, the last 2 or 3 years, except the OPEC has been giving Nigeria undue preference in terms of the pump price, what we are pumping into the national market. Even when they ask some countries to reduce their own, to do, Nigeria, OPEC has a way of encouraging Nigeria because of our precarious situation. So I think if he has been able to get the OPEC to be sympathetic towards Nigeria, because it has not been so easy for us. You know, we spend 98% of our earnings on servicing debt, and yet today we produce 2.5 million barrels per day, in spite of the fact that the thing is selling. In fact, the thing another Nigerian should ask is that if oil is going for $90 per barrel, why should we continue to be on this particular level? That gives to the fact that we have a lot of backlog of things, that debts that we have accumulated, that is making it increasingly difficult for the efforts of those people in the OPEC in this month to rub off on an African Nigerian on the street. Because naturally, the question you ask is that the pump price of petroleum production should not be more than 30 naira or 20 naira because of the amount you are selling. But we are selling, the more we sell, the more we pay debt. So the mountain of debt that we inquire is too much for the citizens to begin to feel it. And we have a government that is also committed to say the infrastructural deficit that we have over the years, most of the money they are earning, they are using it. So that is why the citizens are not feeling it. But we have to give it to him that if he can serve 2 terms, it's one of the very few technocrats that this government has pushed forward that has been able to prove its mettle and be able to show that Nigerians also have the best.
Otherwise, putting square pegs in square holes. Jide, you know, let's quickly talk about it. You know, we can't run away from it. We are talking about theft of our crude oil, blah, blah. Not to say Barkindo has a direct part to play here, but I'm saying on the home front, we are shortchanging ourselves.
We are, and I think that future, when we have to lay pipelines, we have to bear the incidents of vandalism in mind. So we have to dig much deeper, you know, before laying the pipelines. NNPC had considered that at some point, but the cost would really be too high. So you find that in some Niger Delta states, the pipelines are even right on the surface of the soil. The surface
it becomes vulnerable.
So people climb, children play on top of them, they are running on top of them, you know, not even buried in the soil.
Inside.
It's right there on the surface. So it's like we never imagined that a time will come when people will be breaching pipelines the way they like. And it has created problems for us because we have depots across the country that we can pump petroleum products to. But you cannot do that when you know some people will be waiting somewhere to break the pipelines and steal this product. So even when you test run, NNPC once did a test run with water. These guys were waiting.
Wow.
Yes, they were waiting at the other end, believing that it was petrol that was being pumped. So in future, we have to go really, really deep. That will make it impossible, you know, if at all, for them to access the pipelines, or even find a way to kind of electrify some of those areas so that you don't then risk electrocution because you want to steal petroleum products.
Okay, but all in all, Journalist Hangout felicitates with Muhammadu Barakindo, the outgoing Secretary General.
And his mentor was the late Lukman. So wherever he is, you'll be happy that somebody that he mentored has risen to the top of his career and doing well.
That's a plus for us. That's a plus. You know, Obasanjo Farms, if you remember, in the Gwe East local government area of Benue State, was set ablaze by arsonists on Saturday, January 29. But authorities in the state vowed they would fish the culprits out. Barely a week after the Carlos Act, 4 suspects have been nabbed in connection with the incident. In a jurisdiction where bad behavior is hardly punished, one hopes that the crime would be requited, but we do salute the speed with which the suspects were nabbed. Tunde.
Well, I think I'd like to take you back to the Yoruba proverb that when beggars die, there were no comments. But let a rich man die, heaven will sing hallelujah.
It's natural.
Yes, it is unfortunate that somebody has farms all over Nigeria, and the investment.
I hear he has in about 22 states,
34 states of Nigeria, and the investment is being threatened. But we also have to know that there are some unsung farmers. I was watching TVC yesterday, not because I'm here, yesterday, about young farmers in Ondo State. One took 12 million naira to plant cassava, the other one took 7 million naira. He had to leave after the herdsmen came to that place to destroy it. He has to go back and take teaching appointment again. How is he going to pay that 12 million? It's unfortunate that this thing happened, but it also shows that those in authority have to know that rich men also cry.
Yeah.
You know, if they can do that one to a farm belonging to General Obasanjo, you can imagine what is happening to innocent and people who are struggling.
Which are still unsung.
Unsung up to today. Like I said, that man came yesterday, was practically weeping on TVC that he took 12.5 million naira loan. And they came 15 days,
people like that.
15 days to the time he was going to harvest. They came and destroyed that thing. And that they almost killed him. So if government is taking action because somebody who happens to be former head of state is involved, we also have to know that thousands and thousands of young Nigerians, because you ask Nigerians to go back to the farm, Minister gave them loan. 2 weeks to the time they will harvest, some surplus people came and destroyed it.
Makes you think if it
and
was
those people
deliberate.
cannot pay. It is not to make somebody pass on again. So government should not also only look at somebody because it involves a former head of state. Yes, it is unfortunate, but we should be holistic about whatever we are going to do towards these criminals.
The trouble is you hardly punish bad behavior here.
That's the thing. And we hardly kill bad people that even our laws prescribe that for the crimes that they have committed, they deserve
arson
to
being
die.
one of them.
No, I'm not sure arson.
No, it's a capital offense.
What I was saying, I was taking it to another level.
Okay.
I said that even those that our laws prescribe that we take their lives for the crimes that they have committed. We do not follow the law.
I understand.
We allow them
almost so
to get
many
away.
states, including mine, have criminalized kidnapping. Yet,
yes. Look, I remember a governor whose mother was kidnapped, and he proceeded to enact a law. You know, he put machinery in motion, got a law enacted that prescribes death for kidnapping. But even when the judiciary does its work, we can complain about how whimsical will
of justice.
Yes, in our country. But how whimsical it is in our country. But even when they say go and kill this person,
yeah,
because that's what the law says, we do not carry it out.
In extreme cases, commute the sentence. You hardly do.
They just simply fail to carry out the sentencing. So, what do we gain? You will hear tomorrow that those who have taken Reverend King is been sentenced to death.
Oh yeah.
And the sentencing was validated by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's still a free man.
Yes, he's today. No, he's not dead yet. So, and there are many people like that. People not even as big as he is. They just, the governors have no lever to sign death warrants. But some of them, because of politics, they can kill.
They can kill.
No,
but you can't sign that.
But it's only natural for them. The excuse is, I don't want blood on my hands.
Is it on their hands?
So it's on the hands of the person who sentenced the person to death. I mean, it's ignorance to talk like that. It's even foolish. The blood is on the hand of the person who sentenced him to death. That's the thing. And the Supreme Court panel of judges who ratified the sentencing. So why would anyone say this? But you can do worse things. You can sponsor talks to go and kill people, burn people's houses.
Yeah.
But when it comes to doing your job of letting people deserve to go and meet our Creator, go at the time that is right, because you fail to do your job. It's unfortunate that in a state like Benue, where I had always demanded that there should be foreign investment in the agri potential, because there's tremendous agri potential in that state, and a lot of the produce gets wasted.
I traveled through Benue State, saw the fruits in the state and the wastage. The wastages.
Let me tell you, Benue and Taraba, there are no states like them in Nigeria. Taraba even has an edge because there are things you can grow in Taraba that you can't grow in Benue.
Because of the
weather and all that. Do you know that you can they grow rubber in Taraba?
Oh,
they go even palm fruit in Taraba. There's hardly anything that you can't grow in Taraba. You know, but there's no sufficient investment in these areas. Now, Obasanjo has a farm, 2,420 hectares. High caliber variety of mangoes. And people have gone to burn more than half of the farm. By that stupid action, they have denied some people
their
means of livelihood because it's the people of Benue that are employed there. You see how stupid people behave. Yeah. You've taken those, you plunge those people into serious
But have you heard the
argument,
I don't know how tenable that is, that the problem with the CSOs and so on, the farm does not do anything that benefits people in the environment.
How?
Just an excuse. It's unacceptable.
Who said so?
What are those people working on the farm?
He pleaded
anonymity. Is that why it should be set up?
No.
When farmers are the ones who till the land, is it Obasanjo who goes to till the land by himself? Is he the one who cultivates the land? Some people are saying that, that the people are not compensated and all that.
Yeah.
That could be the trigger. Of course, you saw what they did to even their own governor. Because their governor went to his farm. And they went there to fire shots into the air, and the governor and his people took to their heels. They did it to their own governor. So why wouldn't they destroy Obasanjo's farm? But if you do anything that compounds the misery of people in Nigeria that is already difficult,
you must pay.
then you've got to pay. This sort of people should rot in jail.
Yeah.
Because you have no reason to do what you've done.
Without passing.
Because I know that if they were asked to pay for the destruction that they've done, they do not have the means to pay. They are poor, wretched. They do not have the means to pay.
Yeah, our next story. A political party's national convention is crucial since the platform's choice for the plum job is finalized ahead of the popular election. We can authoritatively tell you that the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has notified the electoral umpire INEC of a February 26th date for its national convention. Meanwhile, the Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC on Thursday inaugurated state executives of the party for 34 states and the FCT. The odd states out are Kano and Sokoto, where intra-party squabbles persist. Internal party squabbles are as natural as they are damaging. But first, let's share the story of the inauguration with you. Watch on, please.
A series of controversies trailed the nationwide state congresses of the All Progressives Congress conducted last year. Several state chapters broke into factions arising from these controversies. This inauguration is expected to put paid to any ambiguities as to which state executives the party recognizes. This is necessary in order for the party to consolidate and prepare for the national conventions coming up on the 26th of February.
Now, the coast is clear that we now have the full mandate of the party to discharge our responsibilities as the said party chairman effectively.
Using this opportunity to ask our estranged brothers to come back home. Let's have a formidable team of APC in order to face the challenge of wrestling power from PDP in Abia State. I don't want to go to the polls with a divided house in APC.
Well, I feel highly elated. That my election have been finally ratified, and we are today inaugurated and certified by the national body of the party.
Convention is set, and I believe that on the 26th of February, the convention will usher in a new national working committee that will put the party on the right footing.
Dr. Kingsley.
34 state chairmen were given certificates, with the Sokoto and Kano state chairmen exempted since the primaries in those states were nullified by a federal high court in Abuja.
After the closed-door meeting where the chairmen were inaugurated, chapters that had problems before now said the coast is now clear for them to operate after being certified by the national body. Chenemi Bameyi, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, Jide, but you know, it is not yet Uhuru. It's not yet Uhuru.
Certainly not. APC is in a big crisis, and I wish that the decision makers in the party, the big men in the party, realize what they are up against. We are not doomsday prophets. We are not noisemakers. Our job as journalists is to present things the way they are.
Based on facts before us?
Based on sufficient facts before us. It may not always make you happy. It may never even make you happy. But it is your problem, as long as it is the truth. If you see the horse trading, the politics that led to this point where we are now with the APC, you will know that there is a lot of problems out there for the leadership of the party to solve.
Regardless of what we have just seen.
No, this one, this that they've inaugurated party ESCO in 34 states does not take away the crisis in the party, and they know it. They know it. Look at Kano, for example, where the Shekarau faction and the governor's faction are at daggers drawn. The Kano example is peculiar because we've seen consistently the leadership of the party pander to sitting governors, whether in the same party their former governor is still an active member. They pander to the sitting governor,
yeah.
Allow the sitting governor's candidates, especially chairman, to emerge. No matter what, that's what we have seen, except in Kano. Kano has a sitting governor, but the Shekarau faction, they've gone to court. The party is divided.
Down the line.
Aye.
You know, now I'm sure they are confused. They don't know what to do at this time, because if it was easy to let Dapo Abiodun or some other sitting governors, even Zamfara, the governor of Zamfara state, you can see that the party allowed the tendencies loyal to the sitting governor,
Yeah.
to have the structures of the party in the state, brushing aside former Governor Yari, brushing aside Senator Kabiru Marafa. These people remain very strong in the party,
Yeah.
but you've decided to go ahead and make the governor the leader of the party, and the structures loyal to the governor are in firm control. That's what we have seen. It's the same thing that has prevailed. It's the same strategy or state of affairs that we have seen in Osun State. Yes, the tradition of the APC is that the governor is the leader of the party in the state. Some former governors may not agree with this, but that's because the shoe is now on the other foot. So, but when you are governor, you never reckoned that anybody should try to control the structures of the party in your state where you are governor. So this is what we've seen. In Zamfara, when Maimana Bune went there to resolve the dispute, the party members, especially the faction loyal to Yari and to Kabiru Marafa, did not know that the party will go ahead and dissolve the ESCO. You know, the governor was coming into the party a new man, you know,
and so
the structures of the party that were there,
his feet were removed.
They dissolved wow. the leadership of the party so that the slate can be wiped clean for the new governor. I mean, for the governor who had just joined the party to
write his own
name on the tablet. So this is what we are seeing. How they resolve that of Kano, a state that is politically most strategic in terms of the people, the way people come out to vote. How they resolve it, how they will resolve it, no one knows. But we have seen now that where people have the opportunity, politics is an interest-driven game, and the Nigerian politician is of a unique strain. You've seen Odoedehe, who had literally been in political oblivion, now is taking control and effectively he has shut out Akpabio, the minister of NDDC. And that's what we've seen in Delta as well. Keyamo is not happy because the structures have been handed over to the Deputy Senate President. So in all of these states where also these guys have prevailed, the ones who have received the short end of the stick, of course, they can't be happy.
And they must complain.
So the party still has a lot to do to reconcile people ahead of not just the convention, but the election that will take place in 2023.
Okay. Politics, interest-driven in Nigeria, powerful men and women are the hem. Jide, you've painted the picture. I like that. But Tunde, we have 22 days to go to the National Convention.
Well, I think, you see, basically, I think the genesis of the problem in all the political parties, it's unfortunate that the president refused to allow direct primaries because the strength of the party is dependent on the goodwill of the people that are supposed to be the sustenance of the party. And when an average member of the party has no say in who determines his fortune, right from the world level to the local government to the state level, there's hardly anything you can do. It's unfortunate that the kind of politics we have been playing since 1999, in all the parties, placed the authority of the party on the governors of the state. Even if you have billions of naira, if I go to Ogun State now, I can buy all the structures. The moment I become the candidate, everything has to revolve around him. Whereas things has to revolve around the party. So we continue to have this thing until...
Today, you know, I ask in my private moments, at what point did we lose it? In the Second Republic, the national chairman of the NPN then, we knew was Adisa Akinloye. At the state level, I can't even remember. But the chairman at the state level were in charge. Suddenly,
we lost it because
have taken over.
like I said, the people are supposed to be the focus, the central focus of the political party. They are the engine room. Like I was so young then, I saw a man in Abeokuta who donated van buses, 8, an illiterate, pure stark illiterate man. He said because he loved the UPN.
Wow.
He donated it. He was not interested in any position. So in those days, before you can even print a poster, your party, you must become a candidate of the party, not aspirants of the political party. So in that way, the party is in the hands of the people. But today, I don't know what magic we can do. From 1999 up to today, it is the governor that determines what happens in the party. And that is why they will never support direct primaries. If they don't support direct primaries, you continue, like Jide said, there are some people who are not happy with this arrangement. Forget about the fact that they are sworn in 31st state, but I can bet with you, 40 of those states, executives, they are not popular among their people. So when we continue to have it like this, the governors will continue to be the supreme. Yes, when they leave their office, they to go back to the bank because the shoe will change. The tide will change to them. But for how long we are going to do this thing? So until we really imbibe this principle of direct primaries from the world level, in your word, let people quit behind you.
Counting from today, 22 days.
22 days now. It will be very interesting because the convention of the APC will shape the things to come in 2023. The convention on February 26 is going to shape the things to come.
Wow.
2023.
Jide, yes or no?
I'm finding it difficult processing what goes on in the minds of these people. Because, look, I don't know the shape that convention will take. But I know some people have a strategy in place, you know, that may shock everybody.
And sometimes, Jide, I wonder if what Napoleon Bonaparte, the French general, said, he said, let me quote him, stupidity is not a handicap in politics. I'm trying to break that down. Your opponent might appear stupid, but he's not particularly stupid when it comes to the game.
Yes, and especially people who talk less. They actually let their actions
body language
do much more than talking. See, I know that we are in for some surprises. The shape the surprises will take, we don't know yet. But APC has to be very careful. They have to be very careful. I'm giving them this advice free of charge, no consultancy fee to pay. They must remember what happened in 2019. We warned them that if they did not resolve some crisis in Adamawa, in Bauchi, and several places, that they will lose.
Zamfara.
And they lost those states. That was why I predicted, I said APC would lose Bauchi State, APC would lose Adamawa, and it came to pass because the conditions on ground were such that they could never win an election. They were too divided amongst themselves, and it all usually begins many months to the election. When you leave the issues unresolved,
Yeah.
some of these disputes, some of these disagreements date back to 2015. Date back. In Sokoto, for example, there are issues that date back to 2015 that are unresolved as we speak.
They will come to haunt you.
Yes, you've got to have a party that can resolve disputes when they happen. Call A and B together. But as I said before, there are people who have elephant-sized ego that they believe they're even bigger than the party. You cannot get them to even sit together on the same table with someone that they are in conflict with. And some people don't belong in the party. You have to show them the door.
Yeah.
No matter how much they are stolen to make them think that they are bigger than anybody. You've got to show such people the door because they won't let you make progress.
Yeah.
So this is the thing.
I don't know if you people have that rat. They say you go bite you and they blow breeze. Now get
Well, I don't even know if he bite me because we don't sleep go.
Today, but you see, intra-party wahala over time had created problems when the big game, the big show comes.
Yes. Well, I think the basic problem, like you said, is that when some people feel they are bigger than the party, they have a larger than life image. Things like this will continue to happen. And for as long as politics is not based on ideology, that's why you see somebody in PDP yesterday evening. This morning when you greet him, he's a member of the APC. People will move from one point to the other. Like DJ said, when they show those people the way out, they will join another party, collect the ticket. Because all politicians in Nigeria today, what they want is a platform.
Yeah, remember what happened in Edo State?
In Edo State, changing in 2015, somebody was governor. In 2019, he became an opposition. And changing, but the two of them have been to all the two parties. So how do you expect development? If our politics is still played along this line, where there's no ideology, no clearly defined goals,
is there any
cannot develop.
Is there any hope that the elector, the people, will take over?
Is
there any hope?
I want to believe that in the events of the last 3 years will ginger Nigerians to begin to regard their voters' card as the biggest instrument they have. It is, if mobilizing the people is left to the politicians, there won't be any change, I can tell you. If mobilizing the electorate is left to the politicians, they are the ones that will mobilize. Have you ever witnessed any local government election? Who are those people who vote in local government? It's party members. People who are in the grassroots don't vote. Because it is the party members that vote in local government elections. Wow. Because local government is no more relevant to the yearnings of the ordinary people on the street. Yeah. So how do you want to convince them to go out and vote for that councillor that they don't even know?
Don't know him.
Don't know even
know.
Rather
spend their time on something more.
They can't waste their time.
Okay, we must move on. APC, we wish you people well.
It will already be rough.
But as they say, many people seek advice only after their minds are made up. Our next story. It is true that the All Progressives Congress APC-led federal government only inherited an annoyingly lingering and protracted strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. It's a matter for deep regret that both parties in the dispute are feuding over enhancing tertiary education in our country on the one hand, and a question of accountability on the other. As it stands, ASU says it has lost trust in the current federal government because it's a serial promise breaker. ASU is insistent on a strike. This strike could come off at any moment, Jide.
Yes, it could come off at any moment. In just a little over a week from now, ASU will be having its NEC meeting. And after that NEC meeting, they could take that decision. This whole matter, I would say, has lingered for too long. On December 22, 2020, ASU and the federal government got into what you call the memorandum of action, and certain steps were supposed to be taken, because ASU suspended the strike, not really call off. There's a difference between calling off a strike and suspending it.
Yeah.
When they suspend a strike, they reserve the right to go back on strike without notification.
Notice, that's it.
Yes, you don't need to notify your employer. The labor law says before going on strike, you must notify your employer. But when you suspend a strike,
And not end.
you don't need to write to your employer that you are going on strike, because the strike never ended in the first place.
Means you can step on the gas anytime.
So now, look at December 22nd, 2020, till this day. Those issues that ASU was assured will be resolved, that prompted it to call off the strike. After about 6 months, we have seen that they've not addressed those issues. They've merely addressed the issue of short payment, salary short payment, and visitation panel to universities. In fact, the crisis at INEC was eventually resolved by the visitation panel, which means these universities need their visitation panels, to be up and doing. What ASU wants this time is not for all of the 8 demands to be met.
Yeah.
They are just saying, look, meet 2 of the conditions. And those conditions are brush IPPIS aside and use UTAS.
UTAS, yes.
Which you told them when they said they didn't want IPPIS because it was not flexible enough. In the university system, you are allowed to go on sabbatical. Even people come from other countries of the world, yes, to do the sabbatical at your place, teach. But IPPS will never capture such people.
Okay.
Because it's not that flexible. Lecturers go from university to university, do some time there, teach, and then go back to their
base.
If you are to go ahead with IPPIS, they will not be paid when they were over there, because IPPIS only recognizes you as an individual working in one university. All over the world, the idea of visiting lecturer and all that, is a common thing. We cannot reinvent things in this manner in our country. And they are saying, look, we want something different to IPPIS. And the ministry now said, okay, can you design something? And they designed the software, the University Transparency and Accountability Solution, UTAS. You allow them to do all that. Now you are reluctant to take it on board. So, and for these lecturers...
After you asked them to create it.
And you have tested it. And it was affirmed that the UTAS was good enough. Now, the second condition that they want met is renegotiation of the condition of service of academic workers. Since 2009, in the agreement reached back then, it was resolved that they will, from time to time, review the salary of academic staff. Since 2009, it has not been reviewed, which means your salary from that time is what you are still earning. That is why today in Nigeria, a professor of 10 years standing will be earning in the region of 400 naira to 416,000.
As much for 26,000 that you can earn as a professor. As a professor,
no, 10 years. So why wouldn't, and government set up a committee to meet with ASU. It was Professor Musalin Ibrahim, former NUC executive secretary, that led that panel. He met with ASU and some resolutions were reached. Government is reluctant to implement the agreement that I mean, the resolutions reached by a panel that it set up. Because the lecturers didn't bring Musa Ibrahim. You sent him to interface with these guys. Now, you are refusing to implement his own findings. So these are the basic issues. Remember, clerics met with ASU in December. The, I think, Sultan, Khan president and the rest of them, and they pleaded with ASU. Don't go on strike. Don't go on strike. But what ASU said was, can you just meet the government on our behalf and tell them to meet our demands? Those guys were clearly looking for an opportunity to meet the president. I think it was just this week, after ASU began mobilizing for a strike, that those old men were able to meet the president. Now, does it not look late now? Because even the clerics have not gone back to ASU to say, look, we've met with the president as you demanded. These are the things that the president said to us. So if government has been faithful in meeting, fulfilling promises made to ASU, we won't be in this mess. And if they are saying only 2 conditions out of 8, I think that they bent over backwards enough. They should be able to meet just those 2 conditions.
Tunde, I'm surprised at this point. Begs the question of, so who wants university education dead?
Well, I think I will answer you. There are 2 clear, distinct questions that we can raise. Number 1, 2009, a child that was born in 2009 will be 13 years old this year. In 3 years' time, is ripe enough to go to the university if he makes his school start, which means it is not impossible. I pray so that this government will resolve this issue.
Then they hear your prayer.
It is not impossible that in 3 years' time, that child that was born when the agreement was signed in 2009, by the time he joins the university in 3 years' time,
he would have
the problem will have been there. And the lecturers who taught 2 sets of graduates or 3 sets of graduates before him, before he gained admission, will still be earning the same salary. So do you call that one started growth? I think there are 2 things. Number 1, we have never had a government in the last 25 years that is actually committed to progressing education in Nigeria. Education in Nigeria.
I don't know.
Number 2, or that they are being naive about what national development is all about.
When you say they, who are these they?
Those people who are policy formulators for government. They are being naive about how to help Nigeria to move forward. Because when you produce graduates that are not employable, when you treat ASU like this is what you get. Like I said, in 13 years, it will take 3 points. The last one is that they are asking for a National University Act. Let the government set up a committee, they put people of their own there. Those people signed the agreement in 2009. They have produced 3 sets of graduates. These lecturers are still earning the same
13 years.
They are even saying that it's lesser than what they were earning because IPPIS, what they were earning before IPPIS was higher than what they now earn.
No.
Because IPPIS, according to them, you don't even know what you earn in a given month. What you earn today may be what you earn, may not be what you earn tomorrow. And some of the taxes that were not there before the IPPIS came, those taxes have been introduced. So their salaries are now lower than pre-IPPIS era.
Just a small guy who got elected to the State House of Assembly. By now, they earn more than a professor who has put in 30 years in service, doing research, doing everything, and you expect the country to progress. It is not possible. It is not possible.
Look, the Office of the Accountant General defends the migration of all government employees to the IPPIS, that's Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. But ASU describes that as very shameful, because as he said earlier on, you have a formula devised by the university authorities.
That is peculiar to the university environment.
Yes.
That is peculiar to the university environment. You cannot just describe or treat university lecturers as civil servants that earn salary on increase. Like he said, people go on sabbatical. We have experienced people come from America, from US to do sabbatical in Nigeria. Nigerians travel out. In fact, before you become a professor, it's not possible that you have not traveled out of the country. That is one of the benefits of being in the academics. But the benefits have been removed over the time.
Ibrahim is reaching us from Kaduna. Ibrahim, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to your two guys here, especially Baba Ajide. Yesterday, I tried to reach him for the type of regime.
You have reached him now. Let's get talking, yeah.
So, you see, happy weekend to both of you.
Thanks.
The issue of strike, again, I don't know. I don't know why government always like to hear that name. Until they have what they call strike before they're ready to meet up. Strike has become a language that the government always understands. I don't know. The type of challenges that the students face before they're able to go back, few months or as soon as last year, is not enough for them to meet up this demand they are saying. But on the issue of IPPIS, quite okay. IPPIS is very good to couple with at least due to what the government has saved us from it. But if the university or lecturers say they want to move us from it, to me, really, I don't really cherish it. But the only thing that most people that are arguing that facing now is when they are due to payment, the HNL will not release funds to those that are concerned. That is my concern with most of them. But in the aspect of strike, please, government that should look inward, they should just try to avert this situation because now they don't have time. We are moving towards the era of electioneering. That is my cry. We don't want to. If the election is going, they allow them to go to school. They allow us to go to work.
Ibrahim, we share your fears. They are genuine. But, Jide, so at this point, education should be something the people in government should hold like an egg so it doesn't break. But here we are. Are they particular about keeping the people down so nobody challenges them? I don't know. Who is afraid of making sure tertiary education is put on a sound footing?
I think there is a desire to simply watch public universities die, because a lot of these people don't put their children in public universities. But they are themselves product of public universities.
Yeah.
You know, the ministers, the most famous ones amongst them, I can reel out the universities that they attended, the public universities that they attended. We too are products of public universities. So why must we watch the public universities die?
What's the place of the labor minister who is a graduate?
Well,
in all of this,
his hands may be tied because this thing.
Labor minister.
Let me be fair to the labor minister. His hands may be tied. His ministry is one of the ministries that you can't really say has so much money. So these are all things that ASU wants. They require a lot of money and all that.
Yeah.
So even if he's disposed to it, what if the finance ministry says, look,
money no deal.
We really don't have the money. Look at even the revitalization fund. They were only able to release 20 billion. What is 20 billion in what ASU is asking for? So I don't know. I just think that the government should sit up. When you enter into negotiations with people, you are obligated to honor your own side of the bargain.
That's it.
If you don't do that, then you will not be seen as honorable people.
Okay, we must go. But I hope government will not listen to this, what I'm saying now. And educated people will be very difficult to drive. I hope you didn't get that. Tunde, that made sense?
Well, it does. But
if people are educated, they know their rights, so you can't drive them.
They can ask for it.
All right, we must go. Let the debate continue. Our job is done, but don't forget to join us on Sunday From 1:30, we have an expanded show for you for 2 hours. But if you miss this particular edition, join us on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now. Take care of yourself.